First, we learned about the girls who weren't like the other girls, a trend where women told on themselves for their own internalized misogyny.
I swear, I only hang out with guys these days. They're the only ones who really understand me.
Now, we are faced with an epidemic of cringe from millennials as they age without grace.
We have been doing this since the early 2000s.
Together, the two have merged into a horrifying super trend.
I'm not like the other millennials.
I'm gonna put scary music over that, like the scariest music I can find. Okay, so today we're going to discuss self-hatred and how it's presenting itself in my generation. What's my generation? Well, I'm a millennial. We were born right around the new millennium, see? From around 1981 to 1996. Yes, this video focuses on millennials. No, it's not all negative. Yes, I will be clowning on my generation quite a bit. I'm going to be brushing with broad strokes, but I sincerely believe every generation has cool people, cool trends, bad people, and bad trends. People are nuanced and complex. I'm also not going to be focusing on Generation Z. I know there's a bit of a online feud between millennials and Gen Z, but the thing is, a lot of Gen Z is like 8 or 9 years old still, and I'm not going to be punching down and making fun of kids. I'm more going to focus on my own, my own people. However, if you're a Gen Z adult watching this, take heart in knowing that a lot of this could apply to you very soon. So we all know what millennials are. I'm not going to sit here and read you the Urban Dictionary definition about how they love avocado toast or something. By the way, lately my favorite has been a slice of sourdough bread toasted, topped with avocado, some arugula, sliced tomatoes, and a little bit of sea salt. You could also add some pumpkin seeds, red pepper flakes, maybe a little drizzle of olive oil, if you can afford it.
Subscribe for more avocado toast recipes.
We are the generation that gutted the boating industry. We rent instead of own. We single-handedly killed the taxi cab industry, which was flourishing before we came along and started texting our Ubers. We were also famously psychoanalyzed by this man, who is such an incredible example of snake oil spun as psychology that can't even believe it.
Apparently, millennials as a generation are tough to manage. And they're accused of being entitled and narcissistic and self-interested, unfocused, lazy. But entitled is the big one. We want to make an impact, whatever that means. We want free food and beanbags. There should be no cell phones in conference rooms. None. Zero. I know people who skip seasons just so they can binge at the end of the season. Hi.
He's like if a TED Talk was a human person. Like, oh, your name's Simon Sinek? Not anymore. Your name's TED Talk, okay? Jesus fucking Christ. We're the generation that spent every weekend going to some sort of 80s leg warmer party, but now we turn around and we cannot fathom how Gen Z could misrepresent the trends of the 1990s and early 2000s. We were a whole generation of people who wanted to seem quirky and different and, not like a poser or bandwagoner. We don't just do things because they're cool or normal. We were truly the throwback generation, the hipsters, r/le wrong generation type shit where we wanted Urban Outfitters and thrift stores and Wes Anderson to take us back to a time that wasn't so darn millennial, I guess. In fact, even before we were aware of our status as millennials, it seems like we were already sort of denying it. Like we were all trying to convince ourselves that we weren't like the other millennials. I'm going to assume you know about N-logs. N-logs are not like the other girls. This was a trend in the last couple years. It was really big. There's a ton of amazing videos. Maybe I will insert a useful clip here for anybody who's not, aware of it here.
Girls. All they care about is makeup and fashion. They spend way too much time getting ready, doing their hair or painting their nails. They suck at sports. They're always giggling and shopping and going to the bathroom with all their friends. They are so much drama. But she's different. She's natural and low maintenance. She's down to eat pizza and play beer pong. She's not like other girls.
Basically, from this trend, we figured out that feeling different from others is pretty normal, especially when you're young, but it's something you should work on. And a lot of the N-log stuff boils down to internalized misogyny and self-hatred thanks to
the patriarchy.
We all feel different sometimes, right? Misunderstood or underrepresented, but the answer is not to pit yourself against all other women. The thing is, millennials are getting older now. Our brains are fully developed, and we're embarrassing ourselves.
Hey Gen Z, you can suck it.
I'm not even going to show you the full clips because I don't want to listen to them, and I'm pretty sure you've already listened to them, so you get the idea.
And I'm proud to be a millennial with my side part and skinny jeans.
These fully grown adult theater kids on TikTok are feeling attacked. And the thing is, some of them are just teasing and being hyperbolic, making fun of the trend.
I don't even care what you think!
But some of them are very genuine. So naturally, what happens? The other 99% of millennials watch this and go, oh hell no, hashtag not all millennials. Oh my god, I love wide-legged pants. I rock a middle part. They're trying to signal that they're not assholes. Nobody wants to be lumped in with these ladies.
Would you kindly shut the fuck up?
But the thing is, millennials sort of have a track record for doing this. The inverse happened with boomers. We felt attacked by our parents' generation for being young, so we started adulting. We were told we would always be poor, so we adopted a money mindset and gained financial freedom and became hashtag girl bosses. We were told that we were information age kids who couldn't put down our cell phones, so we made it trendy to go off the grid and do no phone challenges and buy records and prove that we could live without modern technology. We were ruthlessly labeled as the participation trophy generation where everybody always wins, so we became total fucking losers. I'm just kidding, but really, we tried to prove the boomers wrong, make them look like idiots for saying we were all broke snowflakes, and now we're trying to prove ourselves to a younger generation that does not care what we think. We are constantly trying to prove to everybody that we aren't like the other millennials, just like the N-log trend, but maybe we should stop and ask ourselves, what is so wrong with being a millennial? It's just the year you were born, right? First of all, I want you to take a moment and repeat after me. It's okay to be a millennial. Second of all, I want you to just listen to these wise words about aging from Sarah Schauer.
It's the patriarchy and capitalism. We are all victims to it, and we've been pitted against each other because we're competing for male attention, male validation, whether it be unconscious or consciously. And then we're being sold all these products to fix what's wrong with us. Because where are the fucking men in all of this? Why aren't we critiquing men's style? What's happening is ageism. It's yet another beauty standard that people affected by misogyny have to deal with. Because ageism is very much a construct. It's not real. So Gen Z women calling millennial women old is just reinforcing patriarchal beauty standards. What's sad is that they don't realize that they will soon have to deal with those beauty standards that they reinforced because everyone gets old.
Now I want you to just let go. Just be like Gen X and disappear and stop caring what anybody thinks. Be yourself, which is partly wrapped up in your identity as a millennial. Okay, now that we're feeling a little more secure in our age, a little more grounded in the current year and not trying to manifest Nantucket in the summer of 1965 vibes, we can rationalize why we're like this. There's pipes in this room. Please pretend it's a waterfall, yeah. The first thing that came to mind is that everything we've ever loved has been ruined. If cultural trends or politics didn't ruin something for us, then something we loved was turned into a marketing campaign, or bought by Disney, or rebooted to death. The other thing about us is that there's no blissful ignorance. We don't live like that. Your boomer parents still believe the Cold War propaganda they were told in the 1970s. They probably still think we won the Vietnam War. But you've had the truth shoved in your face since the first time you logged on. You've been looking at 9/11 truther memes since 2005. You know nothing makes sense. You know everyone is evil. Everything sucks. Capitalism. Blah, 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 blah. At the core, our biggest problem is that we're self-aware. At least Gen Z seems to be a little bit more idiosyncratic and surreal with their approach to life. Because life is hard. And being aware of it all the time isn't fun. we didn't know LinkedIn was going to be the biggest fucking joke of all time when we first signed up. Like, we weren't doing that ironically, okay? We thought it was going to be sick.
Gen Z, you can suck it.
And I also think that the younger generation is always going to be able to look back on things a little less biased, which is cool. Like, I love going back and examining, like, the Reagan era, but I was born in 1991. Maybe there'll be some cool Gen Z people looking back on, like, the Bush era or something and talking about it in a way that we're not ready for. We shouldn't do to Gen Z what our parents did to us by making us so self-aware about our generation and all that stuff. Just let them learn and be smart and be cool and be funny. Just leave them alone. They're kids. So being born in 1991, I'm closer to the end of the millennials, but you couldn't tell me that. Like, even when Vine came out, I thought I was too old for Vine, which I think I was like 18. So, and obviously, like, a ton of the people who I watch and enjoy on YouTube and stuff used to be Viners, and they're like probably 2 years younger than me. But at the time, when you're a teenager, that feels like a lifetime. You're like, oh, no. Like, that's the next generation. Like, no. That's the next grade, you idiots. So everything's more relative when we're kids. Also, no matter what generation we're talking about, if you're examining the teenage years of a generation, it's going to be angsty and difficult and emotional and puberty-y. And so I don't really see a ton of value in, like, comparing the teenage experience from one generation to the next, because I think there's a lot of similarities in the fact that, like, when you're a teenager and you're in school and you're living at home with your parents and you're going through, like, a lot of changes, life just kind of sucks. So, and things are going to be very formative. Like, that's going to be the music that, like, sticks with you forever, probably. I'm such a plant mom. I'm a millennial plant mom, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I get it. I get why millennials will look at themselves and look at their generation and look at what we've created, which is like this low aesthetic, social media marketing, plant mom thing, and it makes me want to crawl out of my skin. I get it, okay? Like, we're like the Instagram-y generation, and that is, in my opinion, there's two types of millennials. There's, like, the hipster throwback, I love the 70s vibes kind of people. And then there's, like, the millennials that are, like, probably prepping for the apocalypse. And that's another thing is, like, those are our two choices of movies, too. Like, we did a lot of throwback stuff, but we also just were obsessed with the end of the world, with zombies, with the pandemic kind of stuff. And it's unfortunate. We need to start making better millennial era media that isn't, like, cringy, like Mindy Kaling living in some, like, high-rise apartment. Like, I don't think I've ever seen an accurate depiction of a millennial on TV. We need to work on that. And I want to end this video on the note that it's okay to be nostalgic for our own time. I get it. Blockbuster went out of business, and that kind of left a pretty deep wound for a lot of us because we remember the smell. I'll show you some of the boomer Facebook memes I'm talking about, like this one that says, I survived spankings, lead paint, rusty playgrounds, secondhand smoke, toy guns, no seatbelts, no helmets, drinking from the hose. Share if you did too. This one says, when I was a kid, we didn't have bottled water. We had a garden hose. Share if you remember. Oh, look at this shirt. It says, I'm a 60s kid. I remember drive-in movies, TV dinners, switchboard operators, transistor radios, rotary telephones, not wearing seatbelts, strap-on roller skates,
drinking from a hose.
Yeah, we all do, because we all have a collective memory of things that happened in the past. Just like Gen Z kids know what CDs are, even if they don't really use them, because it's part of culture now. You're not a fucking time traveler. And I'll show you some examples of some tweets right here that I've seen that really just reek of the same energy those boomer memes have. And we need to knock that shit off. Let's not be that. Like, I don't need your little LimeWire nostalgia, okay? So, but let's embrace who we are. Let's stop making songs about Gen Z, and let's make better millennial era media. I don't think I have anything else to say in this video. I really don't know how to end this, so. Oh no, I thought of a better ending. I'm a plant mom, I have a fur baby, and I have 2 human children.